Welcome back, guys. I'm so excited we're moving forward. So this is going to be another section, and today I'm going to express myself for you guys. You've been doing wonderfully well. I'm so excited that we're moving forward. Today we're going to work on how to change data types. There are so many times where you might look at a particular data and you tell yourself this data is supposed to be in numbers, then why is it not in numbers? You look at some data types, you figure out that these data are not really having the type of information that they portray to have. So how can you manipulate this data in order for you to get the result that you're expecting? And that is what we really want to take a look at today. We're going to make use of Titanic data, but trust me, if you have not done this yet, I implore you guys to do it. Ensure that all your data is intact. You bring all those data to where you can import them by using import standard as PD, and you try to use the house import all the data that I've been wanting. Set this up first so that it's going to be very easy for you to follow along with me. So right now what we want to do is that we want to make use of the Titanic data set by looking at info. If you look at this particular info, you will notice a whole lot of stuff. You will notice you have columns, and if you look at this particular H is called object, and object simply means pandas cannot categorize these as numbers, and at the same time it's getting worried it can also categorize it as text, so we put it as object, and that is the default. But H is supposed to be in numbers. So now this will give you limitations to find the main, media, and mode, because the main, media, and mode is method can only be used on numbers. So let's take a look at this. So if you say now I have a Titanic data set and I really want to use a main, I want to find the H. Let me say I would want to find the people that let me say H. Let me just type this and I say main. So if you should do this, what will happen? You're going to experience an error. Reason is because H is not recognized as a number, it's regarded as an object. So how can you now convert this from the real, in quotes, word, objects to numbers? And numbers can either be two things. Numbers can either be float or integer. So we want to see if we can convert this Titanic H to numbers. So this concept is called casting, changing one data type from one data type to another. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. So we're going to paste it again. We're going to say, you know what, but let me just see if I can take a look at because I will use info. Let's take a look at age first. Let's take a look at age, and let's say dot value underscore count. Let's take a look at this and let's see what happened. You can see if you do this, you will notice that you have question mark, and this question mark technically is telling you that there are some values that are just missing. So how can you now do this? Because if you don't find a way of getting this question mark out of the way, you might not be able to change the data type. So that is it. Value count, because we want to convert it to numbers, that is why value count can be easily used. And when you use value count, you notice that something is not really making a whole lot of sense. So you need to find a way of changing this. And how can we do that? Okay, what we're going to do is that we are going to say, now that I'm seeing question mark, I don't want to see question mark again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, you know what, Titanic, I'm really angry. I need to change you from question. I need to remove question marks from the data frame because I want to be able to change this thing to numbers so that I can find whether main, media, or mode. How can you do that? Just type replace. So when you type replace, when you say replace, then you say, okay, what am I replacing? I'm replacing one thing, and I want you to replace it and put none. What are you replacing? I'm going to say I am replacing something called question mark. So this is the question mark I'm replacing. And what are you replacing it to? Please, I'm replacing it to something called none. So I'm replacing it to none. So if you are replacing it to none, now let's see if this can also be included in a square bracket, and I want the in place to be none, in place to be equals to true. So if this is right, I'm thinking in my head right now, is this code correct? Yeah, I think it's right. So then if we now say, you know what, let's take a look at this again, and I'll say value count underscore count. Then let's check it out. you can see we don't have it anymore. We've removed the question mark. This is cool. And another thing we'd like to take a look at is that since we have successfully done this, what is the next thing we need to do? Then we can now change our data type. So that is when we will now use the concept of astype. So what we're going to do is that we're going to say, now that we have successfully changed you, then I can now convert the H to ASTY as type. If I want to convert this, so that means I want it to be in float. Okay, if I can do this, let me check it out if this is going to be possible for me. Yeah, now this is possible right now. It has been converted to float. Then if it has been converted to float, I can easily say, yeah, because it is in float, let me check it out. Let me say Titanic_df, and I will just want to take a look at .info. Before, you know, when we scroll up, we were able to see that H was in an object, but right now let's take a look. H has been converted to H is still regarded as an object, but what exactly is going on? Okay, you know what we're going to do? What we're going to do is that we said, okay, what we're going to do is that let me say in place to be equals to true. Just want to see if this is going to allow me to do that. Okay, I think Titanic ND frame as type got an unexpected keywords. Okay, all right, I understand. So what we're going to do is that let's just remove this and let's see whether we'll see have this done. I should be able to see this changed from objects. I've changed it, the age. Yeah, I've changed the age then to float, and it shows me this. And then what can we do? So if I have done that, hold on a second. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, let me just see if I can I do it this way? I'm just thinking of, sometimes you have to debug and let's say in place to be true, because I'm just saying, okay, let's just see what's going to happen, because I really want this thing to change, from objects. I want it to change from objects to float. Okay, that's exactly what I want to do. Okay, let's check it out. All right, so what we're going to do right now, all right, so okay, what I'm going to do, all right, you know what, let's do it this way. Let's override it by saying I don't want to use in place because it's really giving us a whole lot of errors. And let me check it out. Okay, let's do it this way, guys. So I'm going to copy this again, and I'm going to say, you know what, I think if I really want to override you, I need to copy this. Just copy this here, because it's almost the same thing. Copy this and say, I want you to be equals to that same thing, but I want you to override it to float. Yeah, let's see if this is gonna work. And if this works, that means we're good to go. Here we go. Then we can now copy this and paste it, and try to look at the info whether this has been successfully changed. Yeah, I think H has been successfully changed to float right now, so we're excited. So now you can easily find the Titanic H dot mean. Before, you know, it was actually giving us something like an error, but if we find it right now, I think it's going to give us something. You can see this is incredible. So before, we couldn't find the main media mode because all these main media mode are attached to numeric values. So if you can see before, when we did it before, it gives us error, but we're able to understand the fact that this thing is not in numbers. Pandas is saying it as object, so we need to figure out value count. So when we did the value count, we're able to understand the fact that then we need to find a way of removing it. So we remove it by replacing that question mark to none, and in place means I want you to override this data frame. So once we do that, we're able to check it again, and we couldn't find the question mark anymore. And after that, we're able to convert, we're able to see how to convert that H using astype method. Astype method is what we're going to convert it. So what is inside of it is what we are converting it to. Okay, so after then we now look at it and tell ourselves, okay, then let's look at the info. When we check the info, we found out that this thing has not changed yet. Yeah, it has not changed yet, and we need to find a way of changing it. Then we practically created another variable and put what we are trying to convert inside the variable. So then when we look at the info again successfully, we still find out that, okay, it has been done. Yeah. After that, we were now able to convert it to mint. So if you're looking at a particular data type and you're struggling, you notice that this data type needs to be converted from object to numbers. That is how to get it done. And if you've done it like this exactly, you'll be able to figure it out. I'm excited, guys, that we're moving forward. So in the next tutorial, we're going to dive into something more awesome. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.